everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we have here a brand new budget phone from Realme that's called the Realme 12. And I've been checking out this device and it's actually a very interesting package because Realme has priced it at a very strategic point here in Malaysia. Now this device is going for RM1099 and that nets you the 256GB variant. If you want even more storage, you can up 200 ringgit to get the 512GB version. Now that's actually pretty crazy because if you just asked me like, a week ago or a few months back, let's say, and you told me like you could get 512GB for just RM1299, I'll be like, what? But that's what Realme is giving you this time around. RM1299, 512GB of internal storage. Let's talk about the Realme 12. Now first and foremost, this device here does come with a few cool tricks up its sleeve. Even though it's an affordable device, I noticed that Realme has always been playing with their more affordable phones. They've put in new features and this time we have here Android's first dynamic button. Now you might be wondering what is a dynamic button. Well, basically, Realme has played with the software and instead of just having the lock button, lock and unlock your screen, right now you can double tap on it or even double press to activate a couple of different shortcuts. Now for me personally, I think this is quite fun because, instead of just having the button, lock and unlock your device, which is quite redundant, now it gives it an additional set of features that actually allows you to use it very efficiently. Now I've got my dynamic button or the lock button here set to launch my Instagram, which is what I use a lot when I just double tap on it. So the tap works literally just like double tapping and instantly my Instagram will launch right away. You can be doing anything with your phone, just double tap it and Instagram launches right away. Now there's a secondary shortcut which actually uses like pressing it in. So you can also double click it to, for instance, launch the torchlight, which is what I have here. There you go. Just double press it and you can also use it to set different kinds of shortcuts. It's a very cool thing to play with, and once you actually get used to it, whenever you go back to a phone that doesn't come with this kind of feature, you might feel like, I'm missing that out. So yeah, really kudos to Realme for putting in the dynamic button on the Realme 12. Now it's not just about the dynamic button, we also have a couple of cool features here. Design-wise, it looks great. I think it looks very similar to the other Realme 12 series. I mean, it makes sense. It's a Realme 12. You have this very premium kind of look. The cameras itself look very beautiful. I still think it looks like an expensive watch with that kind of cut-out design. Speaking about the cameras, it's got a 108 megapixel main sensor that does like 3 times in sensor zoom. And yeah, I was actually out and about testing the camera and I noticed it works as advertised. You can get your typical 1 times kind of picture, just like any other phone, but the 3 times in sensor zoom actually does capture quite a fair bit of detail. So let's say you are trying to shoot something at a distance but you don't really want to move that near to the object, you can always use the 3 times zoom to actually capture a picture that might actually look like it was taken with the main camera. I think this is great because for a phone of this price point with the in-sensor zoom, it definitely opens up more kinds of possibilities for you to take different kinds of angles with your mobile photographies. Alright, so what else is cool here? Well, in terms of the RAM and storage, like I said just now, you have up to 512GB of internal memory. The RAM is 8GB. The phone itself is powered by the Dimensity 6100 Plus processor. So it's fairly efficient. I wouldn't say like it's the most powerful processor in the world. Obviously, you can still play your games on like basic or like medium kind of settings. The good thing here is that there is actually stereo speakers on board. So if you're playing your games, you can actually have a pretty good sound feedback coming from the Realme 12, which I think is great. Stereo speakers these days sometimes are overlooked on some brands and it's good to see that Realme is still keeping it here. Obviously, if you still want to use the headphones, you have the headphone jack at the bottom. So yeah, you have that. In terms of the display, what you're getting here is a fairly large 6.72-inch unit. It also has that 120Hz refresh rate, so everything is fairly smooth. Although it's using an LCD display, but I noticed that the viewing angles and the colors were also quite good, so you don't really have to worry about that. It also has one very interesting feature, and this is what Realme is calling the Rainwater Smart Touch. If your display is wet or from the rain or whatever, you will still be able to operate the display. And I think if you happen to be someone who rides a motorbike and if it rains like quite constantly, you'll still be able to navigate on your screen, although I don't think that is a recommended move to do when you are on your motorbike. Anyways, moving on to our final point here, the battery life itself. We do get a 5000 mAh unit in here. It has the 45-watt Super VOOC charging, which again, the charger is in the box and it does like 50% in 30 minutes. So fairly quick and all that. Now at the end of the day, who is this device for? where I would say that if again your budget is within like 1 to 1.2k, you are looking for a large capacity, a lot of storage to install a ton of apps, just take photos at your own free will, then I think you can actually consider this device. Of course, if you want to play with the dynamic button, which I think is again very fun, you can also check out the Realme 12. Hopefully Realme brings it to their other devices because it's really very handy. Now with that said, if you have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Realme 12. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Do take care and stay safe. Bye bye.